Hello, my fellow horror fans. I'm David, and this is Terrible Reviews. If you like all things horror, make sure you hit that follow button. Now, today's movie is Leprechaun 2, the second one in our box set. Will it live up to the hype of the first movie? Will it be better? Let's find out. Terrible Review. Okay. This is definitely my favorite Leprechaun movie in the franchise, and let's get into the review so I can tell you why. So, starting off with terror, is this movie scary? I still can't say it really is, but this movie does have a few practical effects that will make you feel uneasy, so I will bump it up from the first movie and give this one a 2 out of 5. It is still a horror comedy, and they heavily emphasize the comedy for this movie, so it is not going to be really scary for you. Now, on to the gore. You could tell that they had a bigger budget going for this one, and they definitely used it well as far as the practical effects in the movie. They did a lot more creative kills in this one. There is one that I wish they would have shown the actual kill instead of it being on a shadow, and it does involve some nudity right before the kill. So if you don't want that in a movie, just be aware of that. But it was great. All the practical effects worked. Like I said, there are a couple that are kind of stomach churning. So just be aware going into that. This one does have some gore and some body horror that might freak you out a little bit. But they were all pretty funny as well. So gore for this movie, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I think they did an excellent job. The only downfall is, like I said, they didn't show that one kill, and I wish they would have done a little bit more as far as the gore, because it is a little bit here and there. They don't like overuse it, but I feel like they a little bit underutilized some kills. I think there could have been a couple more in this one just to make it a little bit more fun. But that said, let's get into the story. Now, this one was leagues better than the first movie, and we had actual story this time. So the characters had actual progression and were interesting. The actors did a pretty decent job. You could tell some of this was people's like first movies, but it was definitely overall better acting than the first movie. The jokes and the puns and the one-liners were all great. There was only a couple that didn't really land for me personally, but the majority of them were awesome. I had a great time. I'm a big pun person, so I loved all the puns in this movie, and the one-liners, they had me dying. So on this one, I am going to give it a 4 out of 5 for the story. I just believe the writing was leagues better in this movie than it was for the first one. We had a lot of development, we had an actual plot line to follow, and it was great. The comedy worked flawlessly for this movie, and it lived up to like the B movie that it's trying to be. And I also, again, Warwick Davis, amazing job as Leprechaun. He was awesome in this. Enjoyed every time that he was on the screen, to be honest. He was the best part of this movie, which is why it's Leprechaun. He killed it. He made it iconic for me. But yeah, lastly, is this movie fun? Absolutely. This movie is a blast. I had an amazing time. I believe that everyone should check out Leprechaun 2, even if you don't watch the first movie, because this one doesn't really follow the first movie at all. It kind of does its own thing, so you can go straight into this one. This movie was amazing. I loved every second of it. Is it terrifying or terrible? I'd have to say it's certified terrifying. Now, have you seen Leprechaun 2? If you have, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next review.